What is going on? I'm zmot. We are here on the HQ17 account. This account is the single sniper. We've got fairly terrible statues, and we are not doing warships today. We are doing these bright yellow school buses that I've got parked on my landing crafts. Now, my baby landing crafts can only fit one of them. If you are, I think, HQ22 or higher, you can get 2 of these babies per boat, and you need to do it. They cost a lot of gunboat energy, but man, are they super ridiculously overpowered. So just to show how ridiculously overpowered they are, come with a plan. The #1 English-speaking victory point pushing leaderboard task force has allowed me in, so big shout out to them. Thank you very much for letting me in. Now, they are going to be going against global #1. Now, up the top of the leaderboard, there's a lot of Chinese characters, and that is partially for a reason, because they are ridiculously well organized, and as a result, they do things like selling wins and selling protection, so you can't actually attack global #1 because a bunch of nefarious, less than ideal tactics that I won't get into too much, but just know that their victory points are artificially inflated in some instances. I'm not saying all of these players are, but there definitely are some of them that are inflated. So what we are going to do is show you Andrew attacking global #1 and getting 4 crystals in the process. Now, typically, when you attack global #1 and beat them, you get 3 crystals. If you beat global #2, you get 2 crystals. And if you beat global #3, you get 1 guaranteed crystal. Those are guaranteed every single attack. So Andrew got a little bit lucky here and got a 4th. We're going to show this attack. Andrew coming in with 8 boats of heavy choppas and some bombardiers. Now, likely does not have enough gunboat energy to drop all boats of heavy choppas there, because Andrew has leaderboard statues that look sort of like this. 9 glowing boosted ice. Just so much powder used every single day. Then 3 boosted offense. I believe Andrew has boosted offense. I'll have to go back and double check based on the replays, but still, you'll see right here, waiting, getting those bombardiers out a little bit late, and then out come those heavy choppas. Now, I'm not sure if those heavy choppers were dropped late intentionally or if he was low on gunboat energy. I could, in theory, do the math, but we're gonna stay away from math and just stick to straight up punches in the face. So, heavy choppas just clearing towards the core, keeping all of the bombardiers in behind. Eversparks, critters also keeping those heavies alive, keeping the bombardiers alive, and just clearing the core. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that not losing a ton of troops against one of, if not the hardest base in the game. And if you've ever pushed the leaderboard, you know that gold is at a premium because they are attacking so much and rated so much. They end up spending diamonds on gold a lot of the time. So the fact that there's no fancy smokes here, there's no crazy maneuvers, it's just straight up punches to the face using heavy choppas. Now, I don't want to downplay Andrew's skill. Clearly there's a bunch of skill going on and some thought processes of where to throw those shocks and stuff like that, but it's ridiculous how easy heavy choppas make things. And so, for you and me, this is amazing. Heavy choppas means that you can clear your map and get all sorts of resources and likely use that resource reward tribe that I think is sitting there. I can't check on this account, unfortunately. But Andrew just crushing this base, picking up 4 crystals. And the downside of this is that all of the players in this task force are getting rated way more than they normally do. So all of that time and effort they put to farm those powders and build those bases and stuff like that goes down the toilet, unfortunately. So you and I, heavy choppas are amazing. For a certain subset of the players, though, it absolutely sucks and it negatively impacts them because they spent weeks and weeks to get like 4 extra victory points, hoping to go up a couple victory points a week or a day, depending on where they are. And then, like, there's Andrew, global #17, and now Andrew's gonna go down, say, 20 today, and global #1, due to those bad tactics we talked about, might go down 3 or 4, for example. So less than ideal. Hopefully those things are ironed out in the future. I'm not going to hold my breath on that, but that's why I wanted to start this video out in that fashion. just to show the sheer ridiculousness, we're going to take our HQ-17 unboosted against a player, new student, on Discord quite a lot, so familiar with this player. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boosted ice. Will we be able to take this down? Not a chance. Like, not even close to a chance. But I'm just curious how far in we can get. And just a note that, of course, my Heavy Choppas are lower level than basically any other Heavy Choppas that are going to be out there against these players. But, and I've also only got one of them, I'm just curious to see how far we can go against this player. Is it going to be very far? Not likely, but I mean, even this far, there's no chance I could go this far with any other troop composition. So just the fact that we've gone this far is interesting in itself. So our Zookas are going to run into a whole bunch of mines. They're also going to get shot by all of the rocket launchers. Realistically, could I go this far against a global player with Zookas or Heavies? Not a chance. So the fact that we're actually clearing some buildings in this attack did not finish instantly just goes to show how strong Heavy Choppas are. And our Heavy Choppas are getting shot in the face by 9 boosted ice, and 2 of those are defensive building damage statues. So we managed to clear a handful of buildings, did not get terribly far, but even that I will take as a success. So we are going to transition and if you're wondering why I'm not using all Heavy Choppas, I don't have the statues for it, and I'm not going to be spending powder on this to try to attack new student and beat them using my ridiculously low level account. But we are going to attack players in our level. So if we can do that well against new students base, just imagine what we can do against other players that are actually around our HQ level. So we're just going to drop all of these dudes into here. Now, I've got some Zookas loaded. That is only because I figured I didn't want to load all Heavy Choppas. There's no need to do this. Don't go drop Zookas because you're going to end up having them hit mines, as you're going to see here. These Heavy Choppas are going to spread out nice and well, but they're going to miss all sorts of mines, and maybe, just maybe, you drop some Grenadiers in behind them, or if you've got Bombardiers like all of the players in this task force, by all means, do drop some Bombardiers, but for low levels or mid levels or even max levels who are below 1200 victory points or so, you don't need to think. You just drop these puppies just like you drop Scorchers, and they're going to stay alive essentially forever. So if you're wondering why I'm not showing this from my max level account, max levels you already have Scorchers and you just drop your Scorchers and close the game and get all sorts of intel. But for low levels, this is a brand new strategy to you guys and brand new ridiculous overpowered. So it takes 0 effort, 0 information, 0 knowledge, just drop these puppies and let them go. And so that's kind of why I was excited that Heavy Choppas won the war, because Rocket Choppas, there's a lot of great attacks where you can do like Minotaur from the side and Centaur from the side and stuff like that. But for Heavy Choppas, you just cannot be stopped, like literally unstoppable, as Andrew showed against Global #1. We are just gonna drop these puppies and then put our hands up and watch. And I'm not going to touch anything on the screen. We're just going to let these things go forwards, and they are a lot faster than a lot of other troops that you can do on Autopilot. Autopilot, helicopter, seems like there's some sort of a correlation that could be made there that I'm just not smart enough to come up with the dad joke there. So we're just going to let these things cruise through. Now, because the Heavies get a little bit out front, those boom cannons would, in theory, do some damage to our Heavy Choppas, but all of those Heavies are going to take all of their fire, and they're just going to cruise through all this stuff. Shock launchers do not attack air troops, so even when our Heavies are shocked, our Heavy Choppas can keep moving forward, keep dropping all sorts of troops. And this player, they're level 46. That is a few levels above us. They've got decent level boom cannons, decent level defenses. I'm guessing their offense is a little bit far behind because they've been focusing on defense. Not a great strategy in Boom Beach, but just cruising through, no difficulty at all. Ridiculously overpowered. Now, if you've never played with Heavy Choppas for some reason, just know that when they die, they also poop out a whole bunch of troops. So There's actually a little bit of benefit in them dying, assuming you have instant training. If you don't have instant training, don't let them die, which, as you can see by my ridiculously well strategic battle plans here, is not terribly difficult as we throw 400 smokes towards the end there. Managed to get a crystal. Maybe being in this task force is a little bit lucky. Let's share that attack. I'm sure that these players are super interested in my attacks. That is a bit of sarcasm, by the way. So if we jump in to the armory quickly, if I can find my armory, jump into the armory, you can see the stats and details about these puppies. Little bit of info there. So they have 14 size, which is why I can only drop one of them in my landing crafts. Somewhere along the road here, they tell us, come on, where are you going to tell us? Basically, they will drop up to 10. Where the heck? Right, I forgot. So there is actually more info than is showed on that screen, but there's no little arrow telling you so. So you can actually scroll this thing right here. So it will spawn heavies. It will spawn, what does that say? A unit every 5 seconds for a maximum of 10, ignoring the bad English grammar there. And then when it destroys, it drops 8 heavies. So do scroll those details down. I wish that UI was improved a little bit, but we'll do one more attack, dropping a little bit of more intel in this task force that does not hurt for intel. Like, just looking at these numbers, 100 intel on the week already for some of these players, and it's only day 1 after the reset. Anyways, we will try to find the highest level base we can find on our map, because nothing is going to stop us. There's a 52. I'm a 43, 9 levels above. OMG. And we are just going to try to speed this up a little bit, because I can't just watch these things cruise through all of the things. I'm just going to send them up there. I'm actually going to use like a tiny bit of smoke just to get them up there. Don't need to be perfect at all, because heavies have a whole bunch of health, and we're going to throw a shock on the shock launcher, just trying to speed things up a tiny bit as Everspark drops some critters and then keeps on moving. So you don't need to do it the dumb way like I did, where you drop all your stuff. You can use a little bit of strategy here. Send those troops back towards the headquarters. Try to speed things up a tiny bit. Also spend some gunboat energy to get rid of shock launchers. And then just watch the core go boom. These Zuka boats, I am just keeping those on the off chance that we manage to lose some heavy choppas, and dropping some Zukas late to clear a headquarters, maybe with some shield or something like that. But realistically, I'm going to be using 4 boats and only 4 boats for the foreseeable future on this account. So little bit different video than normal. Trying to stay super positive about these troops, because I love the heavy choppas, but just wanted to pull the curtain back a little bit and show the dark, deep, not so great side of them as well. So anytime there's a super OP troop, whether it be Lasertrons or Rainmakers or Heavy Choppas, those leaderboard shenanigans come into play. So would love it if Supercell would fix those shenanigans, for lack of using a new word the second time, but not likely to happen. So anyways, that is all for me. One more time, big shout out to Come With A Plan for letting me in and giving me some replays to show that. You know what? I'm going to do one more replay. I'll see if I can find global number 1 to 5 somewhere in their logs, because it's just such a good time. Okay, global number 4 by a new student, and we're just going to see, using Kavan, couple different strategies here, whether it be Shock Knuckles or Kavan or Taunt. Basically every hero working, just a matter of which way they're working. And because these things are not Scorchers, they don't explode and kill Kavan, he might be able to stay a little bit longer. Kind of surprised they're using Kavan with those grapplers in play. Kind of interested to see that Kavan is not running across the map, so that's a bit surprising to me. Just seeing all that glowing blue at the back, I gotta say that seeing these sorts of attacks brings back that old itch where I pushed leaderboards for a little bit, but that was an all-offense leaderboard push, which is very different than what most of these players are doing. So that laser behind the core doing a little bit of damage to these bombardiers, almost crushing them, but even still, with the heavy choppas making that massive wall and just clearing this. Now, I think, yeah, they didn't go anywhere. Is it only 1 shield? Yeah, 1 shield. I haven't even considered the fact that I guess they can have 4 prototypes now. Mind just slowly catching up. The leaderboard pushing has drastically changed since I played. 4 prototypes, 12 statues, so I am very much out of touch with this stuff, but that is all for me. Heavy Choppas, super ridiculously overpowered. Do use them, have some fun, and I shall talk to you soon. As per always, thanks for coming in. I'm zmot. Peace.